What's up, everyone, and welcome into episode number 465, where it is my honor and privilege to introduce a special guest joining this episode, and that is MSU infielder Dayton Murphy. How are you doing, Dayton?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you joining this early morning. I know it's a little bit earlier for you, but I appreciate you joining, talking a little bit about MSU, talking a little bit about Northwoods League. I'm sure it's nice kind of being off of Northwoods for at least the last couple of weeks it sounds, so I'm sure it's nice having a little bit more free time to yourself.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is super nice. It's been a long year, a long season. Appreciate you having me here. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm like super excited.
Yeah, no, I'm excited that you were able to join. I know that you had a great year this past year where, as a freshman, you end up starting in 31 games, playing in 42 of them. Did you ever expect, as a freshman going into MSU, that not only you would be playing, but having that much of an impact on MSU?
I'd say I didn't really expect to go into the year with like high expectations of like starting and like playing shortstop and third and getting the opportunities that I got. But I would say that I did go into the year with a goal, and that goal was to play as a freshman. And I just stuck with it, and I showed up every day, just put my nose on the grindstone and just worked as hard as I could and tried to make the most of every single opportunity I got.
Yeah, and that opportunity obviously, like you said, led to shortstop, but also led to third base, which I know you said that you've never played before. How did that whole thing come to be, and how was it playing third base when you finally started getting there?
Yeah, so it was like around this time actually last summer, and one of the coaches texted me. He's like, "Hey, you ever played third base before?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Maybe start to get some reps there." So I mean, I just started working at it, started getting some reps, and then as I got on campus, I slowly started easing into it, obviously, and like taking a lot of reps there, learning the position, still getting better at it. I mean, I'm still not the greatest at it, but I'd love to get better at it. And yeah, obviously, that was my opportunity to play was third base, so I'm gonna obviously stick with it and say yes. And it was a big learning curve, and I still am learning with it today. And it's just great to know every position you can because I mean, the more you know, the more time you'll see on the field.
Exactly, and being that utility player, being that guy that can play all over the infield, I don't know if you can play first base, but at least it allows you to be given opportunities to play. And obviously, third base is known as the hot corner. Is that pretty true? I'm assuming it's pretty true in college.
Yeah, it is pretty true. I remember my first game I ever played at Michigan State. Like early in the year, it was like our first like little tournament type style thing, where you just go to the warm weather to play a couple teams. I think I saw my name like on the board, like I was starting that day. And I was pretty nervous, I won't lie, my first collegiate start, and like I get out there and like the first inning, like the first ball that's hit to me is just a rocket, and like it was like crazy. Like I obviously like the Lord knew I was out there like first time ever. He was like trying to test me a little bit. And I just remember that inning, like the first ball, I got like three balls, and then I just kept getting a bunch of rockets like all game.
No, that's kind of crazy, and obviously with the first ball being hit your direction extremely hard, I'm sure, like you were saying, you already had nerves going into it. I'm sure that probably either helped those nerves a little bit or kind of made those nerves a little bit more heightened.
No, yeah, definitely. It definitely helped, I would say. Like getting that first ball out of the way, just like getting it under your belt, you feel a little like relieved, and you're just like, all right, let's do this. Like it's just the game I've always played.
Exactly. Even if it is a new position, obviously it's baseball, and there's different things that you have to do per position. Like not every position is the same. I'm sure that shortstop is quite a bit different than a third base, but you also do have to have a strong enough arm to play on both of those. So I'm assuming one of your strengths is probably your arm over at third.
Yeah, yeah, I would say one of my better strengths is definitely my arm, but
Yeah,
definitely a lot of room for improvement always in every part of my game.
exactly, and that's obviously what college is for that improvement, for growing. I know you just finished up your freshman year. You at least got another 2 years before possibly getting drafted into the MLB, which I'm sure is a goal of yours, and we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later. But I kind of want to get into a little bit more about how you ended up at MSU because for a lot of people that play college baseball, they kind of go through like the typical journey of baseball, starting t-ball, starting kind of from coach pitch, all that kind of stuff. Was that pretty much your story? And if it was, when did you know like college baseball was the right move, especially Division One?
I mean, I would say baseball has always been like my favorite sport, but growing up as a kid, like I would say elementary school, middle school, I was playing like every sport you could think of, like hockey, soccer, basketball, football, like track and field, cross country, anything, you name it, like I was doing it. So I was always just like running around, bouncing between the different seasons. Like I really wasn't putting my focus into one sport as a whole. And I mean, that's what a kid should do is just have fun and like see what they like and enjoy it and explore the opportunities. And that's what I was doing. And I just remember like as time went on, like I was slowly narrowing down like each sport and it just got like smaller and smaller. And like as I entered high school, my freshman season, it was COVID and I still played soccer and basketball. So I did that. See if I seen if I liked it and obviously baseball. And then sophomore season came around and I gave up basketball and then it was just between soccer and baseball. And I knew I didn't want to give up baseball and it was definitely hard to give up soccer just because it was a lot of fun and like I love the coaches there at the high school and like a lot of my buddies played, all my best friends like are on the team. And then like after the sophomore year I did end up giving up soccer and I just put all my focus into baseball and that's where I was really like, all right, this is where I need to like go and like this is where I want to pursue baseball in the further years in the college and so on.
Did you feel like you had to kind of give up soccer in order to pursue that possibility of playing in baseball? Because I feel like there's some athletes that you talk about that are college athletes that are multiple sport athletes, and then you also have some college athletes that are single sport athletes where they focus on that all year round.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I could have done both for sure, but to benefit myself to the best of my abilities, I think giving up soccer was definitely the best choice just because the seasons like they kind of I feel like they don't really interlap with each other, but it's just like a lot. Like the fall's like it was a big time in high school to get recruited and to like get your name out there and to really like work on yourself. And that's when the soccer season was. So I was just finding myself jumping from like soccer to baseball, and it was hard to like put my focus into one thing. And I knew that if I wanted to be the best I can and like get to where I am and like achieve all my goals, I need to put all my focus into the one thing, and that was baseball.
Yeah, because baseball is one of those sports I feel like people don't realize, but it's almost like an all year round type of sport where you have to
Sure.
put in that time. And obviously, being from the Midwest yourself, it's probably a little bit more difficult to put in time all year round when there's things called winter. And I'm sure
Yeah.
this past year at MSU, you kind of realize, hey, maybe things aren't as great up in Michigan either during the springtime when it's really cold out for like the first like month or two.
Yeah, it was a cold one, that's for sure. This spring was definitely colder than normal, and I hope that doesn't happen again. I remember we were down in like Texas near the Houston area, and it was absolutely freezing. We were just like, man, we're here to get some warmth, and we're just not getting that. I was wearing long sleeves, tights, and some guys were wearing ski masks. It was just crazy, and we were just down in Texas. You just never would have expected that.
Yeah, you're like, where's the warmth? Like,
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm
literally.
so used to this in Michigan. Like, I'm like, I
Yeah.
I want something at least nice. And it sounds like you didn't necessarily get that, but obviously you got that later
Yeah.
on in the season.
Yeah, I just remember we were playing like UCLA and like obviously they're from like the warm. So it's just like they're probably like thinking to themselves like we could have just stayed home. Like why are we here playing in the cold? It was just funny. It was super funny. Like it was definitely a different experience, but I would say yeah, this past year and like the winter and like leading up to the spring, like it was definitely way colder than usual.
Do you think being from the Midwest and being a Midwest team to have a team like in Oregon or UCLA or a team out west or maybe a team down south come to like East Lansing, do you think it's a little bit of a advantage for you guys, especially like in the early spring when it's a little bit colder, or is it just it's baseball and there's really no such thing as an advantage?
I mean, honestly, I think it's just baseball. Like there's no such thing as an advantage. Like it's all mental. Like if the team comes into town and they're just like, all right, like we don't even want to be here. It's so cold. Then obviously they're already losing the game. Like they're already losing the mental side of things. But I mean, if they keep a good mindset and like they go into it like it's just another game, like we just got to get it done. Both teams are in the same weather, the same whatever's happening. I mean, you both are experiencing it, so like nobody's at any advantage in my opinion. And that's like one thing we kind of preach this year is like, especially because it was colder. our coach would say like, "Hey, like we're both playing out here. It's just gonna be about who's tougher, and that's just how it's gonna be." And like he's right. Like that's all it was. It was about who's tougher and who wants it more.
Exactly, and obviously your head coach is Coach Jake Boss Jr. He's been around for a really long time. He's been very successful. I know that you guys went to the Big Ten tournament this year. We'll also talk about that as well. But was he a big factor in you going to MSU? Like, why did you make that decision? Why did you want to stay in the Midwest? Why did you want to come to East Lansing compared to maybe other schools that were looking at you throughout that process?
Yeah, I would say definitely coming to Michigan State was a big choice of mine. Like it was definitely up there. I mean, I came here for like a camp and I didn't know how I'd like it. I didn't know if like this was the place to be. Like I didn't know if like I really belonged here, but I knew I just had to trust in myself and trust in the work I've done and like believe in God and just put it all in God's hands. And like as time went on, I just kind of like I really took my time in the process. I didn't really rush anything, and I just kind of like kept getting a better relationship with the coaches, and I kept like coming back. I think I came back like three different times to like visit the school and like really see it because the academic side of things is also a very big thing of mine. Getting a degree, obviously. I mean, if baseball doesn't work out, then that's where my life's gonna land is there. So Michigan State's a really good academic school, and obviously on the baseball side of things, I saw a lot of opportunities. I saw a lot of good things within the coaches, and the time that they took to build a relationship with me was definitely the biggest thing. Like, some schools don't really have that. Like, they just want you to commit and like you're just done. Like, they don't really care to build a relationship. They don't really want to take the time to really talk to you, get to know you. And I think that's the biggest thing the coaches did was they took the time to get to know you and just stuff like that. So that really was a big part of my decision.
Yeah, you really wanted it to feel like home, where you felt
Yep.
like you belonged, where you felt like the coaches care about you. And obviously, with college athletics, where there are things kind of going with the whole like transfer portal, with everything, like there are probably some situations like you talked about where it doesn't necessarily feel like that, where they just want you as a player. And obviously, that's a whole different situation. It seems like that wasn't necessarily what you're looking for, but I think it's just really cool that you found a coaching staff that really seemed to not only one invest in you, but also you did mention that you're like wondering like, do I really belong here? And you went back several times and you ended up finding a home. And turns out the answer is absolutely you belong there. You've shown it your first year at MSU, but when you stepped on the campus, started going through fall ball, how long did it kind of take you to like adjust and realize like, hey, like I belong here. I belong to play at MSU. I'm one of these guys that can have an impact. And did you really have kind of like a wake up call at the beginning?
Yeah, definitely. I would say me, and I could say for a lot of other freshmen, it was definitely a wake up call. I mean, it's college baseball, and I always say to people, like, you don't know until you get there, and that's really the truth. It's like you can tell a kid, like, all this stuff, all the stories, whatever you want to do, but you really don't know until you get there, like, how much of a grind it really is and how much of, like, a big jump it is. And I would say it was definitely a wake up call, and it was definitely like, all right, like, I really need to like hone in on some things and like really be better at some things like and to your point where you asked like how long did it really take, I would say it honestly took like I can't name like how long it really took, but it was a good amount of time to be like, all right, like this is college baseball, like this is the real deal, like you got to really like take every single moment and like lock in on it. And that's really just the biggest thing is like showing up every day and staying disciplined. Like it's what you're gonna do day in and day out. It's not being results driven, process driven is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and obviously throughout that time you're adjusting to the speed, you're adjusting to the pitching, but at the same time you're also a student, right? That's why there's the saying student athlete.
Yeah.
Like you still have to adjust to what's like moving to a new college. Obviously, being from the Midwest, it wasn't maybe as far of a drive as someone maybe coming from like a Florida or Georgia or something like that, but still a big deal and it's still a big change. Like how are you able to kind of like not only balance being a student trying to figure out like classes, figure out where to go, because MSU's campus is extremely large.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably something that if you didn't know you probably realized pretty quickly, but then you also have the baseball side of things and the pressure there of performing, of playing well Like if you don't perform well in class, you're not going to be able to be eligible in baseball. And if you don't perform well in baseball, you're not going to play. So
Yeah.
like it's not just like you're focusing on baseball. You're trying to juggle all these things to succeed. And as a freshman, that had to be insane.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it spot on. Like that's basically what it was. Just like every single day, day in and day out was just crazy. I mean, being away from your family for the first time, living on your own, trying to make new friends, trying to build a relationship with your teammates. I mean, that's the one advantage is like you kind of like go into school with like built-in relationships, but you're still like getting to know the guys, still getting to know everyone like personally. And that definitely took a while for me, I won't lie. It took a while for a lot of guys. But I mean, to your point, it was definitely very different and like it, I would say it was a lot of fun. Like it made me a better person. It was a wake up call for sure. And it was like it's time to like grow up and mature up and like really put the big boy pants on and like get to work and like take every single moment like to the best of your abilities. Like don't take advantage of anything. Be grateful for everything you got.
Exactly, and you did mention obviously getting to know your teammates. Was there anyone like an upperclassman or maybe even a freshman or a coach that really kind of helped you settle in, that kind of took you under their wing, that kind of like helped you throughout the process? Or was everyone just kind of that way of like, if you're struggling, you have anyone like reaching out to you or saying like, hey, do this, or like, hey, this is completely normal? Because every upperclassman and every baseball player, for the most part in college, goes through that. There's some obviously some really great baseball players that obviously don't go through struggles, but those guys are going to be the ones that probably are drafted out of high school or don't even go to college.
Yeah. I would say for the most part, like everyone on the team was super, super friendly. Like there was nobody that wasn't willing to do anything. Like everyone was always like trying to be there for the freshmen, be there for the sophomores, like just be there for each other, like everyone on the team. And I would say like a lot of guys took me under their wing. A lot of guys took each other under their wing, but a big person that did take me under their wing was Jake Dresselhaus. He was a junior this year, outfielder, and also Jacob Anderson, third baseman. Just like kind of always being there for me, like making sure I'm okay if I ever needed anything. Like always give them a call. Like obviously we didn't have a car, so they gave me like all the rides. Like always just like taking the time out of their day to make sure like I was doing okay. And I just know that they were doing that for others. And I know there's a lot of guys on the team that were also doing that. But like those two guys really stuck out to me. Like those two guys are going to be two of my best friends for life just because of what they did for me. Like always just putting themselves out there, just being the good guys they are. And I just really love that. Like it was good to see and it like inspired me to want to do that to like the incoming freshmen and whoever it may be, transfers, whatever it is, like even outside of baseball and life, just it doesn't cost anything to be kind, and like that really showed from those two guys.
No, it definitely doesn't cost anything to be nice, and having those people that are that way, and you did mention that they're going to be probably the best friends for the rest of your life. That's
Yeah,
just kind of the cool things about college athletes, is that you have the ability to grow those bonds, grow those friendships, and it seems like obviously you've done that with all your teammates, but at the same time you have those teammates that have kind of been there from the start. And I'm sure that that means a lot to you.
yeah, it definitely does, 100%.
So another thing that's obviously cool about being a college athlete, especially at MSU, is just kind of like being a D1 athlete. What is it like being a D1 athlete? Like obviously you probably get to go to other games. I'm sure you probably went to football games, basketball games, hopefully went to a hockey game as well. I really enjoy hockey, really
Yeah.
great hockey team MSU has. So like what's it like just kind of being a D1 athlete, going to all these other games? Like, I'm sure that you probably have gotten to know other teams as well.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State obviously just great athletics all around from all the girls programs to all the guys programs. Like it was a lot of fun being able to like go see everything. I mean, it's such a huge school, such a wide variety of things. Like from going to like a girls soccer game because they're really good to like a hockey game in the winter to a basketball game to a football game with all the fans. Like it was just a lot of fun and like being an athlete, getting to see like what their like experience is compared to mine is definitely something I really like to see. Like and obviously we get like the perks of like the tickets and like we get to see and like get better seats and all that, but like it's also fun, like kind of feeling like just a college student for once, like getting to experience some other things, like getting to see other people who have put so much work into their sport perform and be on the field. And I know when our season comes around, people like to do the same for our sport. So it's just like supporting each other in a small sense, but at the same time, just like really being a kid again, like enjoying life, just not taking it so serious and like getting to like find something that makes you happy. And if that's watching other sports or hanging out with your buddies or just doing whatever outside of the sport, something like that, that's what I kind of saw it as.
Yeah, and obviously there's not the pressure to perform if it's not your own sport. But then you also, like you said, you get to hang out with your friends at these games. I'm sure football is probably one of your favorite sports you attend, would you say? Or if you had to make a pick, like I'm going to put you on the hot seat, what's your favorite sport to attend at MSU that is not your own?
Honestly, I don't really know. I mean, a lot of them were a lot of fun. Like I'm buddies with a lot of guys on the soccer team, so it was a lot of fun to like watch my guys personally play. But basketball was super fun, and I know like Jace Richardson was in one of my classes, and like I talked to him a lot. Like we were super like close with each other within that type of frame. But like it was definitely a lot of fun to watch all the sports. But if I really had to pick one, it would definitely be hockey. I mean, those games were just absolutely electric. Like this stadium's just always packed. Like they always perform, put on a good show, and like everyone just enjoyed it. Like I mean, if you don't like watching hockey, I don't even know why you're at Michigan State because that's the place to be for it.
Oh, absolutely, especially with what Coach Nightingale has done over there with Ike Howard being the Hobie Baker Award. I would love to see Ike Howard back. I was kind of a little disappointed, but
Yeah.
obviously happy for him, obviously.
Mhm.
But Trey Augustine's going to be back, what Nightingale has been doing with that roster. Also, you mentioned soccer as well. The women's soccer team hosted, I believe, at least one NCAA tournament game. They're like a top 10, top 15 team now. The men's soccer team is really fun to watch as well. I think it's just one of those things that you have sports that need a little bit more support, like
Mhm.
soccer, like
Yep.
baseball, like softball. Like a lot of people think like football, basketball, hockey, but there's
Yeah.
some great teams and great sports that are so fun to watch at MSU. And I think you guys are one of those that is really fun to watch and something that I've really enjoyed watching over the past couple of years. Really enjoyed your guys' obviously season, and I think it's just a great brand of baseball. You have a couple of guys, at least this past year from Sam Bush, that hit quite a few dingers out to right field. You
Yep.
also have obviously Joseph Jurwa that isn't going to be back, but he's going to be pitching for the Orioles in probably a couple of years. And obviously, you guys have a ton of talent coming back, a ton of position players. Going to be really interesting to see what happens with pitching. I know you guys have quite a bit of pitching coming back as well, but there's probably excitement there just trying to see what this team is going to look like next year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, that's all you can really say is you just got to be excited. It's a long process, and now that I've gone through it, I mean, it's safe to say like you never know what can happen. Like, I mean, for all we know, we could be the best team in the Big Ten. Like next year, we don't know. Like it's just all about what you do in the off season. Like all about how badly you want it. Like that's just all it comes down to. I mean, I can't really speak much further on it because I don't really know. Like there's gonna be a lot of new faces in the fall, and there's gonna be a lot of different things that were different from last year. So I mean, it's all an experience. Every single year is something different.
Exactly, and obviously, like there's that uncertainty. You never know what season to season is going to be like in any sport, honestly, and that's just kind of a part of college athletics. That's just part of athletics as well. But one thing that's kind of a common occurrence for at least MSU is that you have the opportunity to travel to play. You typically go to Greenville. I believe you guys gone to Greenville for the last like 10 plus years, maybe not that
I think
long,
it's
but
like
I know
16 or something.
yeah, a long time. You also get to now play Oregon. You also this
Yep.
past year got to travel to Michigan, your rival. Like getting the opportunity and getting these experiences, what is it like to kind of travel to play a sport that you have loved for so long and getting to play at schools like Oregon, getting to play schools at USC? Because guess what? That wasn't a thing
Yeah.
2, 3 years ago. Now it is a thing, and you get to experience it.
I mean, it was definitely a lot of fun. Like, just being able to go to new places, baseball aside. Like, personally, I like to go see new places, like, see as much as I can because, I I mean, that's what life's about is just exploring things, seeing things. And like, that's what I get with baseball is like, I get to meet a ton of new people, make a ton of new friends, like, build a ton of relationships while also get to see like all these different places. And like, I guess from a standpoint, like, before college, like high school ball, like, it's starting to evolve into like a lot of travel. Like, I won't lie. Like, there was a lot of travel that came with playing the travel ball and whatnot and all that jazz. But it was just like this season like was like no other. Like with the travel, like it was crazy, but it was just so much fun. Like you're just with the guys 24/7, like always hanging out. It's just basically a long extended hangout while playing the sport you love, and that's just what I loved most about it. But yeah, like being able to go to Oregon and UCLA and USC and Washington, like it's definitely an experience. When we went to USC this year, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was so hot, but it was just like a lot of fun getting to see what those guys get to play in every single day, or like getting to be at their field, like their fans, like seeing what's different. I know we a lot of the guys went to the beach and we went to like go to the nice restaurants, a lot of nice houses on the water. Just getting to see like that side of the country. Like I've never been there before. It was a lot of fun. Like I would say that was definitely the most fun I've had all season was that trip. Either that one or Greenville. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and obviously it's time to bond. It's time to have these memories as well. I believe you guys went to like Oakley out in California, I
Yeah, a couple
believe.
of guys went there.
Yeah, so you get to just experience this, be in places you've never been, and then Greenville. It's I believe one of the minor league teams for the Red Sox. I believe they
Yep,
have a little mini green monster out
they
there.
do.
What
Yep.
was that like? Obviously, you're not an outfielder, but it had to be pretty cool to kind of have somewhat of like what the Red Sox stadium is like, but not like the full on like green monster.
I mean, yeah, Greenville was just it was awesome. It was once in a lifetime experience, and I'm glad I'll get to experience it again for the years to come. But I mean, from like baseball to the hotel to the town to the food, like everything was phenomenal. Like it was just awesome. I just wanted to speak on that, like how grateful Michigan State and like our baseball program really is to be able to go there and like just have everything we got. Like we got to use the locker room, we get to use the cages. Like we got it all, and it was just so much fun. It was like one of the most fun times I ever had, and it was for 9 or so days. Like just absolutely blast. And to your point of the Green Monster, the mini Green Monster, I mean, it was sweet. I mean, we were there and a bunch of guys were hitting a bunch of homers over the Green Monster. Like we were just playing good baseball down there, and it was just a lot of fun. And like being on that field, it was just super nice field, very well taken care of, and it was just a blast, honestly. Like just a lot of fun. And like I know a lot of guys got a lot of free time to walk around, and personally, I walked around as well. And I went up on the Green Monster and I sat there, and I remember like Clemson and South Carolina were about to play each other or something, and I was just sitting up there watching batting practice, and it was just like from a different standpoint of things, it was like different because like usually I'm used to being out there like warming up and stuff. I don't really get much time to watch others, and like being able to watch that was a lot of fun.
Did it feel a little bit like you were a minor league player throughout those 9 days, kind of playing in a minor league park?
Yeah, I would say yeah, it did, and especially if I look back on it now, comparing it to this Northwood season, like playing every single day, like trying to replicate really the minor leagues is what they try to do in Northwoods. Like if I compare that to what it was in Greenville, I would say yeah, it was pretty similar. Like obviously the Northwoods is a lot more baseball, but it was similar being able to play at a park like that, like using the locker room, just kind of seeing what it's like out there. I mean, that's one of the nicest minor league stadiums, most well taken care of stadium it's gonna get. Like that's as best as it's gonna get out there. They do a really great job.
Yeah, and you did mention you were giving support for them out there. Like they've been supporters of you guys for a long time. You get to use amenities that maybe the other teams don't get to use. So it has to be nice to be from a university and play at a university that has that support all over the country. Like MSU, if you go all over the country, I'm sure that if you're wearing your MSU baseball gear, I'm sure you probably get go green, go white
Yeah,
everywhere.
everywhere.
I'm sure it's probably really cool. You probably have people that come up to you seeing the baseball stuff and they're like, "Hey, are you a part of the baseball team?" I'm
Yeah.
sure you also probably signed multiple autographs throughout the season, so it has to be a pretty kind of cruel and surreal kind of moment for you of having like people come up to you and saying, "Hey, like I'm a Michigan State fan," or "Hey, can I get your autograph?" Like, does anything like that ever get boring, or is it still like kind of like
No,
does it
never.
not feel
That's what
real?
it's all about. I mean, it's just getting started. Like personally in my career, like high school, obviously, here and there, like people would do that stuff. But now that I'm at like a huge university, like all that stuff, I would never say any of that gets boring because that's what it's about. Like I was in those same little kids' shoes trying to get the same autographs, like looking up to guys like myself and my teammates, just like all that type of stuff, you know. So I would say it never gets boring and it never will get boring because that's what it's about.
Yeah, and it has to be a surreal feeling, like kind of going from that kid that wanted those autographs to now being the person that's giving them. Like it has to be
Yeah.
such a cool feeling for you to kind of be involved in that.
So yeah, it is such an awesome feeling. I mean, it'll never get boring ever. It's so much fun.
Yeah, which is obviously great. And then this past year, you guys also got to play at maybe the most historic college baseball stadium in the country, Omaha. What was it like playing in the Big Ten tournament? Obviously, didn't necessarily go the way you guys probably wanted to go, but like, how fun was it being able to play in Omaha, being able to play Nebraska, which is obviously their home field? Like, that had to be such an incredible experience being able to play in a stadium that hosts the College World Series every single year.
I mean, yeah, once in a lifetime experience and definitely hoping and the goal is to get back there every single year. I mean, we talk about it with the guys and the coaches, like that's our goal every year is to get to the Big Ten tournament. And I know in these coming years we're gonna do whatever it takes to get there, and that's the biggest goal of mine is to get back there and make a farther run this time. But to your point of playing there and like getting to experience that, I mean, it was so much fun. Definitely the most fun I've ever had. Like it was up there because it was definitely a cool stadium and playing Nebraska, all their fans. I mean, it was sweet. The whole lower bowl was like packed and it was super loud there. I won't lie. It was probably one of the most fans I've ever played in front of, and like those are some rowdy fans. They're getting chippy and like you could definitely hear in the field like what they were saying. But I mean, when I first stepped out there, like on the field, like taking the pregame ground balls, I was like feeling a little overwhelmed, like with how the big the stadium was. Like it just felt like wow, like I'm really out here. And then after I got my first at bat out of the way, I was perfectly fine. It was just like settled in, like time to play baseball, like what you always done. But like being able to see other teams play there, being able to get to walk around, like when I was going there as a kid, going to watch the College World Series, like I would have never imagined I would be playing on that field. Obviously in the Big Ten tournament, but I mean, it still was so much fun. It was still a great experience.
Yeah, because only a certain amount of baseball players, of college baseball players, even get to experience playing on the field. Like you have to either make the Big Ten tournament or you also have to make the College World Series. And I'm sure that with you being able to go to a College World Series in the past as a kid, but also as a baseball player, now I'm sure you probably realize of like just how difficult it is to get there, of how well you have to play. It's all about playing well at the right time. Like it's just really great quality baseball, and I just feel like playing and having the opportunity to be at Omaha just in itself is something that unique. And you did mention is once in a lifetime opportunity, and hopefully it's an opportunity that you guys have next year. But like we were also saying earlier, it's all about preparing for next year and putting in that time in the off season to get to hopefully a goal of Omaha. And that's exactly what you've been doing. That's exactly what your teammates have been doing. And for you, that means going to the Northwoods League. And you did mention playing at Northwoods, playing basically every single day. How tough was that going to the Northwoods, basically playing every single day, traveling as well? Like you guys travel all over the place. It's truly like if you want to look at a summer league, it seems like it's truly a legitimate minor league system type of organization.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a lot, but at the same time, it was a lot of fun. I mean, if you love the game, you're always gonna have fun, like meeting new people, being with some of my friends. Some of my friends are on the team that I've grown up playing with. Obviously, some of my Michigan State teammates. But I mean, being able to meet new people and just playing baseball, like super relaxed and just super fun. Like, it definitely isn't as stressful as the school season, the summer or Michigan State season. But I mean, it's still a little stressful being able to having to show up every single day. Like we got a lot of fans in Kenosha, and it was just like it was a lot of fun. That's all I can say is it was a lot of fun. It like made me like really like love the game of baseball even more. Like really be grateful for the game that I get to play every single day. Like being able to play in front of all those fans, like getting to travel new places, getting to meet new friends. It's just that's what it's all about to me is all that stuff. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like nobody's really gonna remember like one single game and like one single at bat. You're gonna remember like the friendships you've made and like the memories you've made. So that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, and I feel like any like college baseball player that has the opportunity to play in the Northwoods League, obviously, like you talked about, it's difficult. You play every single day, but there's obviously not the pressure there. But like, I'm sure that you probably have so many memories already from playing at Kenosha, from playing with all the fans. I'm sure that the fans get really involved as well. I'm sure the fan just whole atmosphere is even a little bit different than maybe what college is, but just kind of like traveling. Also, you get to play teammates as well that are on other Northwoods leagues. Like I'm sure you probably have hit off of a team. I know that I believe Traverse City Pittsburghs have quite a few of
Yeah,
your teammates. I know that Isaac Sturgis is one of them. I know that there's I think one or two pitchers. Logan
yeah,
Pecor I think is there.
yeah.
Adam
Logan,
Broski
Adam.
Adam Broski is there. Like, what is it like going up against your college teammates in the Northwoods League? Like, you probably know them pretty
Yeah,
well overall, obviously as people, but like what kind of player they are.
it was a lot of fun. Like I remember we were playing at home and the Royal Oak Leprechauns, something like that, I think is their name.
Yeah.
I don't know, weird names. But anyways, like Aiden Donovan pitches on that team. He's like one of my best friends, obviously another freshman. I remember he started one of the games and it was just a lot of fun. Like I led off the game and like I got in the box and obviously we were just like laughing at each other, like smiling, saying stuff back and forth, like and everyone was just loving it. Like I mean,
Uh,
people knew we were teammates, like good friends, and like it was definitely a lot of fun. That's how it is, like facing your teammates. Like when Traverse City, when we played them, like Adam was catching, so like during my ABs, I'd be talking to him, like saying stuff, or like if I was in the field and like Isaac was on second base, like obviously just talking, like out there just playing. It's like finally get to like kind of play against each other when we've played with each other like for so long, for such a long period of time. It's a lot of fun. It's something you look forward to for sure.
is there any like talking like crap or talking trash with each other, or is it more of just like obviously more of like a fun way of doing that, not like truly like meaning it, or is it
No,
more of
yeah.
just like catching up, just saying like, hey, how are you? How's things going? Or is it more of just like banter back and forth?
I think it was a mix of both, like when Aiden was pitching, like we were definitely talking crap back and forth. But I mean, we didn't mean it. Like we've always been that way, even outside of the baseball field. Like we're always going at one another, like always just trying to like make each other mad. But I mean, that's just our friendship. Like that's what it was. And like we finally got to like be against each other in the sport we play. And like obviously we were both gonna do it. Like we both knew that was gonna happen. But like at the end of the day, when the game was over, like when he got subbed out, like we were like always had the relationship we had. Like caught up with each other, talked about how our summer's been, all that stuff. And the same goes for the other guys. Like that's just how it is. When you're on the field, you're competing, but like off the field, like it's always the friendships you've had.
Exactly, and I'm someone that kind of believes in that. Like, if you're really close friends with someone, you can kind of talk a little bit of crap with them, especially
Yeah.
when you're competing. Like, for you,
Yeah.
you probably want to beat the Royal Oak Leprechauns. You probably want to beat Traverse City Pittsburghs. But at the end of the day, when you walk off that diamond, like, if you win or lose, you still have that relationship. You still have that friendship. And obviously, there might be a little bit of a frustration if you lose because I'm assuming you're not someone that likes to lose. At least I would guess if you're a college athlete, I would assume you don't like to lose. I'm not someone that likes to lose. I'm pretty competitive. Maybe you do. Maybe I don't
No,
know. Maybe you
no,
do, but I
yeah, I
feel
don't
like
like to
most
lose at
don't.
all. And especially to my buddies, like then they have the upper hand, or like if they get me out or something like that, like I don't like any of that stuff. I don't like them having the upper hand on me. But like definitely am an extreme competitor. Like all I want to do is win. All I want to do is succeed. Obviously failure comes with it, but that's the biggest goal is just trying to succeed.
And being obviously an extreme competitor, being able to want to succeed, also in baseball, you do fail more than you succeed. Like,
Yeah.
how do you kind of balance the mental part of that, but also the physical part of being able to be ready to play, but also mentally ready to play as well? Because if you play a lot of baseball and you really enjoy it and you want to just be so competitive, how do you kind of like balance like when to know when to stop, when to know when it's too much, but also mentally not letting it get to you when you're not succeeding as much as you want to?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing I learned going into college was that I'm gonna fail way more than I'm gonna succeed, and that was definitely very clear to me. And I think the biggest thing that I learned is that I just need to like not necessarily like flush it all away, but like in the Northwoods League, like if you had a bad game, you just gotta let it go. Like it's in the past now. You gotta learn from it and like be better from what you did, from each at bat to each play you make to each throw, whatever it is. Just be better from it because I mean, there's another day tomorrow. Like you're gonna wake up and do the same thing tomorrow. Like you can't carry it into the next day or else you're not gonna perform. That's the biggest thing is if you keep carrying the failure on and on, you're just gonna keep failing. Like you gotta learn from it. You gotta take it as like, all right, like this is good. Like it's good to fail. It's good to learn from your mistakes, and it's good to make because that's what's gonna make yourself better at the end of the day is the failure. Like I wouldn't want to be perfect, and I know well as much as I would want to be perfect, like I also want to fail. Like I want to be able to have that failure because that's what's gonna make me better. Like at the end of the day. Like that's always what it's been in life for everyone is if you don't fail and you don't go through tough times and struggle, you're not going to make yourself a better person. You're not really going to succeed at the highest standard that you want to.
Exactly. Sometimes the biggest growth comes from failure. It's about how you approach things, it's about how you respond. But from high school, obviously, you were one of the best athletes, if not the best baseball player on your team. Maybe you don't fail as much. So, like,
Mhm.
when you finally get to college, when you finally get to Northwoods, when you start failing a little bit more, was that difficult to I don't want to say understand, but was that difficult to kind of like comprehend? Like you understand like baseball, you're going to fail, right? But
Mhm.
like, was it kind of difficult making that transition? Maybe not having as much success as you had prior, or did you kind of like learn a little bit prior to that so that you can kind of adjust to maybe when things aren't going as well in like college and Northwoods? Because guess what? If you hit 300, 400 in college, you're a really great baseball player.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I definitely got a little taste of failure like before going into college. Like obviously, everyone's going to fail, but going into college is really when I got like a wake up call, like my eyes really opened up like all right, like this is going to be a normal thing and like it's just going to be about how mentally tough you are and like how you're going to overcome it. And that's the biggest thing is that I did fail a bunch in college, and I'm grateful that like now that I look back on it, like it was all a good learning experience, and like it was good to know like what it's like and what I can do better for this upcoming year. And I definitely have a way better understanding now, and I feel way better about things.
Yeah, and you mentioned this upcoming year, and I want to kind of wrap up here with two last questions. Obviously, now that Northwoods is done for you, you're kind of getting a little bit of a break, like I said earlier at the beginning. You've gone through MSU, you've gone through your first year. Next year, what are some of like your goals and some of the things you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I would say some of the things I'm looking forward to is just continue to build the relationships with the guys, continue to build the relationships with the coaches, like continue to just enjoy college because I mean these are like the best times in your life is when you're at college. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. And I'm really looking forward to like continuing to show up each and every day, like staying disciplined and like sticking to what I know best. And that's hard work and staying committed and like really trusting the process. And that's the biggest thing is just continuing to trust myself. And I would say I really don't have like set goals right now. I kind of do that later on before the season or like during the winter time. But the biggest goals of mine right now are just to enjoy it a little more and like really like take the time to like be grateful for the game of baseball because I mean you never know it can be done, when it can be done. And I feel like last year I'll be the first one to admit it. I was a little ungrateful for the game of baseball at times, and I was pretty selfish at times like towards the game like and I just felt like that's what brought me down and I just really big goal of mine is to really enjoy every single day and enjoy every single moment with your teammates, with your coaches, on the field, practice, games, whatever it is, outside of baseball, school, anything, going to do fun things, like just really being grateful for those opportunities every single day is something I want to be way better at.
Yeah, because for baseball, one thing that it's been known for is it's a kid's game, right?
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that you've played for a really long time. And sometimes it's really difficult to kind of get to that point of like enjoying it, especially when you're struggling. But then also at the same part, you talk about like growing those relationships, and that obviously helps with it. But I'm sure you probably realize that like your time in college goes by insanely fast. Like
Yeah.
you're already going to be a sophomore
Yeah.
next year. You're after next year halfway done. Maybe if things go well, maybe you have one more or two more years at MSU. Like you're already 1/4 or maybe 1/3 of the way done. Obviously, kind of depending on how things go, but like it just goes insanely fast. And I feel like kind of coming off of a freshman year, understanding that like, hey, like I need to understand and I need to kind of like accept and realize like, hey, I need to have fun. I need to take in these small moments before it's too late is I think a really great thing and something that a lot of people maybe don't realize until it's a little bit too late or headed into this senior year. You're realizing that now, and I feel like that's going to really play a bonus to kind of the next couple of years at MSU, which I'm sure you're really excited for.
Yeah. I mean, for sure you hit it spot on. Just it's all it's about is just being grateful for the opportunity you get. And I mean, that's just what I am. Like, I mean, I've definitely put my trust into the Lord and like in God and like trusting His plan every single day. And that was the biggest thing this last year is just trusting what He has for me because it's all up to Him at the end of the day. And I mean, I just need to enjoy it and like have the most fun I can.
Absolutely, and also like you were saying earlier, you never know when it's going to end. Like
Mm.
you don't know the plan. Maybe it doesn't exactly go the way you want it, or maybe it does, and it's just kind of along for the ride. You'll have some highs, you'll have some lows. It's like a roller coaster in life. Some things will happen that you don't understand, but then other things, if it goes really well and starts clicking, you're like, okay, let's go for a ride.
Exactly. That's all it's about. I mean, the ultimate goal, obviously, is to keep moving on, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep moving on. But right now, I got to live in the present, and I got to live in the day because, I mean, the main focus is today. Like, doing this podcast is the main focus. And then after the podcast, what I'm going to do after this, like, that's the main focus. You can't control tomorrow. I can't control the next day. I can't control what happened yesterday. I can only control what's right in front of me. And that's just the biggest thing is enjoying every single day to the most, to the best of your ability.
Exactly. Take it day by day by
Yep.
day, by moment, by moment. Continue to get better. Continue to push for obviously the goals that you have, which is continuing to play baseball beyond MSU. But to really to end the podcast, I really do hope you. I do want to say, I really do hope you get to achieve that dream of being able to be drafted, of being able to
Thank you.
play well beyond MSU. I definitely think you will have a really good chance of doing that. I think you're a really great player. You don't play and start 32 games as a freshman if you're not there, in my opinion. But obviously, I know you have big goals ahead of you. But to end the podcast, like, what kind of advice would you give to anyone that's listening to this on like how they can achieve the dreams that you are achieving right now?
I mean, the biggest piece of advice is to just stay true to yourself because nobody knows you better than yourself and there's nobody to impress, there's nobody to satisfy but yourself. And like at the end of the day, things come and go and like I know a lot of people get caught up in like trying to impress people and trying to get like almost verified, like get like approval from them. And that was definitely something that I was like big on when I came in as a freshman is trying to get approval from others and I learned like it's not what it's about. Like don't worry so much about what other people think about you. It's you. Like nobody knows you better than yourself. And like stay true to your plan, stay disciplined and stay committed and good things are going to happen. I mean, if you have the right mindset and you don't really care what others think, then you're going to be good. Like I mean, it's your story after all. It's nobody else's. They're trying to write their own story while you're trying to write your own story. So don't worry too much about what others think of you and what they want to say. let them think that, let them talk. I mean, don't get too caught up in it. Stay true to yourself and stay committed every single day. Show up every single day. Give it all you got. That's all I can say.
Yeah, because if you obviously stay true to yourself, like you're going to find your people, you're going to find your
Hmm.
moments. You talk about writing your own book. Like there's going to be chapters where you're going to write great chapters. There's also going to be chapters that you're going to write that are going to be bad. But I saw something earlier this week where it's like, don't let the book end on a bad chapter.
Yep.
Just continue to write your chapter. And there's going to be, like I was saying earlier, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be parts where you're going to struggle. There's going to be parts where you're succeeding, but it's all about being yourself. It's all about putting in the work. It's all about just giving it your best effort, and people will notice, and you'll be surrounded by the people you want to be surrounded by. And it seems like that's exactly where you're at with Michigan State. You're surrounded by teammates. You're surrounded by coaches that support you, coaches that seem to really enjoy just the overall process of things. And I think just finding that home, finding that place that like you have at MSU is just really key, that allows you to be that individual person, be yourself, and just continue to grow as a baseball player. And I think over this past year, you talked about you've done that, and you want to continue to grow. You want to continue to get better, and I think you'll continue to do that in the next couple of years. Definitely going to be a big fan of yours. Definitely will be cheering for
Thank you.
you, cheering for MSU as well. Love exactly what you guys are doing over there. I've had quite a few of your teammates on, so appreciate all of you guys over at MSU. You guys are not only a great team, but great individuals as well. And I really appreciate you joining, taking basically 50 minutes of your time. So sorry that I went a little bit
No,
long, but I
no, don't be
appreciate
sorry. I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate you being a big supporter. I mean, I was excited to be on here as much as you were excited to have me on here. So that's the biggest thing. And I know a lot of guys are excited to come on here, and I just appreciate you being a supporter of myself, my teammates, the team, Michigan State as a whole, and just pretty much everyone in Michigan, all the athletes, just really supporting people because it really goes a long way, more than you know. That the people that really do care about athletes like us, it goes a super, super long way. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I was super excited to get on here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I know how incredibly busy you are. I'm sure you'll probably put in work later on today for baseball. I obviously don't want to take up too much more of your time, but one thing I always say to anyone that ever joins is if you ever want to come back, you absolutely have an open invite. Would love to have you back on. If not, obviously, no big deal, but I will definitely be cheering for you, cheering for the team, cheering for MSU. I think you guys are going to have a couple great years coming up. And yeah, I really appreciate you joining. That is a wrap to episode number 465. Thank you again to Dayton for joining, and tuning in to the next episode.